Alright, let's go through and we'll see how different preferences in QuickBooks Online affect the weekly timesheet for both the admin and the employee in this browser, Google Chrome. So we're going to change the admin settings in Firefox, and let's see how the workflow comes in. Alright, so first we have location and class tracking. You can enable and disable these. So when you enable these, look what happens to the weekly timesheet. Let's refresh the page. Should have a class in oh, I hit save here. There we go. Location and class come on the weekly timesheet. Fantastic. Alright, let's go back to preferences. So you can have location and class tracking. See? Okay, here's another option. The sales tax. You can uncheck and check this off. And when this is checked off, you get a nice little taxable box on the weekly timesheet. So you can see location, class, customer. Now, let's see, weekly timesheet. Alright. You don't get the tax. Oh, I know why. You only get the taxable box on the weekly timesheet if you go in under the time settings, time tracking here. We could use okay. Can't find the tax. Anyway, let's move on. For time tracking, you can have services as an option. So if I check off use services and I hit save, you have another box that comes up for service. Now, an interesting thing we have here is the billable box. Bill at something an hour. Now, for each customer, and service, we have a billable rate that can be set in QBO. So we need to import that into Ability. See, this comes with a default rate, but this is editable here. So I could change this to $30.50. I could change it to $40. Oh, and here's the taxable box. After you check billable, income's taxable. Let's see what the worker sees. Weekly timesheet. Okay, so let's see. Route 66 store for cutting grass. Billable, $30 an hour and taxable. We need to know if this is by default enable or disabled for that customer, which you can set up each customer as taxable or non-taxable in QBO. the weekly timesheet needs to look exactly like this. We only have 5 days here. We also need to pick up the value here under preferences. There's a value for first day of work week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We need to pick that. So we need to import this value and display the timesheet needability accordingly. There are no payroll items to note. We went through the system, we couldn't find any. Now, another thing is this, show billing rate to employees and subcontractors. So if I uncheck this and I hit save, only the admin gets that billable rate box. So let's do that. Service, cutting grass, billable, $30 an hour. However, let's go to the weekly timesheet for the employee. He does not get the billable rate or taxable. So you can see that. He doesn't get the taxable box, or he doesn't get the rate. He's not able to change that. So we need to pick up that value as well and display the timesheet accordingly. So this also occurs in the single activity time sheet. Location, we need to have 4 different boxes here. Location, class, customer, and service. Customer is always present no matter what. Location and class are optional, as well as service. So we need to pick out when these are and are not optional. And also there's enter, start, and end times. There's also a break box. Break, you enter an hour, minute, minute. So if I took a 30-minute break, I would put 30, and it would subtract 30 from my total time when calculating it. We need to include that in the single activity in the create new time entry inside of eBility. Again, we only have five days here for whatever reason. They don't like to display that. Alright, let's go back into the company preferences, and we'll show you how the billable box comes up on the single time entry. So let's turn off location and class tracking. We'll leave service tracking on, and we'll show you how things, what the workflow is like in QBO. Let's show the billing rate, and we'll hit save. Okay, let's go back into the employee's weekly timesheet. So he gets the bill rate again, and he gets the taxable box. Note you only get the taxable box option if, and only if, the billing rate is being shown to employees and vendors. Okay. So let's do our standard customer service. You get your $30, and it's taxable. We need to see if we can get all this information from the QBO APIs. Now, that's just a quick run through. Let's look at the workflow. So let's make an entry for cutting grass, billable. We changed the billable rate, and it's taxable. Test, change rate. And let's make an entry with out, changing the rate. And it's taxable. Okay. So let's say this is 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, and save. And you automatically get an add new time activity once you've filled up the 2 rows. Alright. And you could here click this more rows button and adds another 2. We need to copy that exactly. So we hit save. Changes are saved. Let's go back into Firefox and see what for employees, the weekly timesheet comes in. Bill at, taxable, and you get all your totals. And then they can go in and do whatever they need to do if they need to do invoicing in here. So that is the workflow for the weekly time entry. Let's create a single activity timesheet. So we're doing Kmart, we're doing cutting grass, it's billable. We'll change the rate to $50 an hour. We'll enter start and end times actually. We'll do 9 to 5. It even knows that 9 to 5 is AM to PM. And we took a 30-minute break. No, not a 30-hour break. Test. Test single entry. Save. Alright, it's gone. It's back. It automatically puts it in the weekly timesheet. $50 an hour, taxable. 7 hours and 30 minutes for Wednesday. Fantastic. Now let's go in here. Let's refresh the weekly timesheet here, and you see that it came in here. We have all our work. We have 47 hours and 30 minutes of work. These are the totals. The total gets summed up on each line, summed up this way. And you also see it's summed up for each day. On the bottom, it gets summed up this way. We need to copy that as well. Select the employee. We have employees and vendors. Vendors are displayed at the bottom because Brian should be above Bruce, but vendors are on the bottom.
Sure they're not here?
Alright, and that's the basic flow for QBO. We need to check for these things in the APIs, and we need to follow this exactly. Alright.